One love, God bless. Fire Nelson here. Today I'm going to talk to you about becoming the best versions of yourself. So, we have to realize that we have a beautiful blessing in life where we don't have to stay stagnant. We don't have to stay in the same position we are. We don't have to stay at the same job that we are, or stay with the same mindset that we are, or stay around the same people that we used to stay around. We can always change and make adjustments to our life to help push us to be the better and best person that we can be, because we should always be striving to be the best version of ourselves. We shouldn't be striving in an obsessed type of way where to the point we feel like we're always living in lack or we're always not enough. No, it's not about that. It's about having awareness that there is more to be learned. There is more to be accomplished. There is more to be sought. We have to realize that there's so many blessings that are waiting for us to see, because the blessings are already there and waiting for us, but we just have to bring it into our awareness. We have to see these blessings. We have to hear these blessings. We have to feel these blessings. You know, when we are coming into our awakened state, when we are walking a more righteous path, there's going to be times when we think that we haven't made any progress, and we think that we're going down a bad week or a bad day and going down this dark tunnel. And then right before we know it, there's just a blessing right there around the corner. And this is what happens with life. We have to realize that sometimes, just like when we were unconscious, we were going through this dark tunnel, not ever realizing that there is light around the corner. Everything that we went through until now helped push us to the information and the wisdom that we hold now. You know, everything that we went to in the past helped bring out the person that we are now. Of course, it would have been better if we didn't have to go all through those things and this and that. Of course, it'd been better if we maybe had been born rich, or born in a different country, or born a different sex, or born a different race. We could think this, but however we were born, we were just meant to grow more and more into this true spiritual beings that we're supposed to be. And we have been blessed with the choices of being able to actually do this, being able to be conscious of making an effort to be a better person. And when I say be conscious, is lots of times animals and, you know, other creatures and stuff like this, they don't have the blessing of the awareness to say, oh, let me go pick up a book on self-growth. Let me go to the gym and do something differently. Let me learn about what foods I should eat that'll help me think clearer and, you know, not hold so much toxins in my body. Let me learn about herbs I can take. Let me go travel to this country and go on this retreat. You know, other beings on this planet don't have these luxuries of not only having the awareness of the inner self, but having access to all these tools on the outer self, on the outside, on the, you know, this worldly 3D plane as well. We have to realize that there's so much that is going on that is trying to push us into the direction that we are supposed to be going, and we need to stop resisting this push and start letting it flow. So how do you become the best version of yourself? How do you get there to become the best version of yourself? Well, first of all, you have to realize that I don't know when this lie began or when this type of vibration began, but it seems like after a certain age, or it seems like after you leave high school or you leave college, that people have this misconception that we're supposed to just stop learning. And especially in this, you know, age of technology where you can just Google anything and you have the answer, people don't really take the time to learn everything around that one answer. There's so much more context to just Googling something, and there's so much more learning to be done that happens only when you open a book or listen to a full podcast or a full audio book, or talk to elders. We don't even do this anymore. We just call them old people, and we visit them and call them because we have to. This is how we feel, a lot of us. We don't even respect our elders the same way. So we have to realize, if we want to be the best version of ourselves, we have to learn from other people living in their best versions of those times. And those people are even continuing to elevate as well. It's a non-stop process of growth. It's a non-stop process of elimination of bad habits and, bad ideas that we thought were good ideas, and all different types of things where we're constantly adding new, more healing things into our life and eliminating the toxic things that we maybe thought were more fun or more necessary, or we might even thought they were healing until we grew in our information, until we grew in our knowledge. And we have to realize that just because things in life are feeling good and going good doesn't mean that there's not room for growth. You can be a millionaire right now watching this, but that does not mean that you just never need to pick up a book again, never need to look for advice or wisdom from elders. We have to always be thirsting for knowledge, searching for knowledge, downloading knowledge, not into our phone, but into our actual brain, making sure that you understand and overstand and understand what you're reading, what you're listening to. We have to realize that there's never a time when we should not be reading a book. I don't mean we need to be reading a book all day, but I'm saying there should never not be a time when you're at least picking up a book at least 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week. We should always be growing our knowledge in different ways. And this is how we're truly going to become the best version of ourselves. Not looking into how to build a house or carpentry or, how to make shoes. These are good things to learn as well, of course. You want to learn in your creative crafts. You want to learn your creative crafts and learn, special skills and do all these things as well. But at the same time, you want to be learning spiritual knowledge, inner knowledge, emotional knowledge. There's actual science to our emotions. There's actual science to how our brain works. There's actual science to what our brain likes and how it reacts to certain situations, and how different things can help us think better, help us grow into a more, enlightened person of how we're supposed to be walking on our divine path, so we're not so astray, not so following the rest of the sheep, the rest of the pack of this crazy world that we live in. We have to realize that the best version of ourselves is somebody that's not going to be someone you commonly see on the street. It's not going to be someone that you commonly see in your workplace, that you commonly see in your friend groups or in your family. The best version of yourself is something that is going to be a thing that you're going to have to put effort towards. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, we have to grow ourselves. We have to take the time to look within and truly figure out what goals that we want to achieve, break down those goals, and slowly accomplish what we can quickly if you can as well. There's no need for getting down on how fast or slow the progress is going. As long as you're growing, every single week, every single month, every single year, as long as you're doing what you need to be doing to grow yourself more and more, just like a plant. Keep on watering yourself with it and getting yourself those right nutrients and absorbing the good sun and making sure you're doing what you need to do. Then you're going to bloom. You're going to be able to tell just by looking back at the last year, like, wow, I was just a small sprout back then. I thought I was something. I thought I was, really getting somewhere, but now I've really gotten somewhere. And that's how it happens when you're actually putting the effort and using your awareness to become the best version of yourself instead of just expecting it to magically happen just because you're getting older or something like that. And I feel like that's what people really think. They think, oh, because I'm 30, I know everything. Because I'm 40, I know it. Go, because I'm 60, I really know everything. But half the time, those be the most confused people. Those be the people that look back and have to find the wisdom there. We don't want to look back and have to figure out what we did wrong to get us in this wrong situation and then have wisdom. We want to build wisdom with the elders and the books and the teachings that we have out here. These spiritual books, these holy books that we have out here, and start utilizing these ideas and these, gifts of knowledge and wisdom from the Most High. We want to utilize these things so that we don't have to learn from our own mistakes. We can learn from others. Like, what a blessing is that? If you want to become the best version of yourself, learn from others. It doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what situation, there's always a lesson to be learned. It doesn't matter if you think that person's smarter than you or dumber than you or healthier than you or whatever. There's always a lesson to be learned. Even from their pain and sorrow, you can learn, okay, this is why they're going through this thing. This is why they're dealing with these depressions. This is why they're dealing with these, the leg pains and these hip pains, and because they're not doing their yoga. They don't even care about it. And they're starting their morning with chips. Oh, that might be a reason. So we can learn from others and see how we can change ourselves. Be the example, but learn from others. We want to strive to do what is right always. That is going to help grow you into your best version of yourself, into the person that's walking the divine path that you are born to walk. Because everybody has a path that we are meant to walk, and it's not something that is scary because it's set in stone. It's a beautiful process, because sometimes we think we know, and then all of a sudden a bunch of things happen and we truly figure it out, and we're like, oh wow, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I've been called to do. This is what feels so natural to me. I can't believe I haven't been doing this the whole time. And that's what happens when you put the effort in to be the best version of yourself. You're going to see that sometimes what you thought that you were meant to do, the Most High has an even better plan waiting for you. Don't be resistant. That's only going to cause suffering. Just try to go with the flow with things, especially if you feel in your heart and your soul that it is a righteous path that's being open to you. You want to follow a righteous path. You don't want to be falling into evilness and greed and, hurt, judgment, and all these extra things. Greed, worshiping these false idols and trying to be like this person and that person. We don't want to do that. We want to just be a better version of ourselves. Us learning wisdom and about life is not us trying to be like the authors that we read about or these people on the podcast that we see. They're just teaching you spiritual lessons that they've learned from great masters, from the greatest master, the Most High. So we have to realize that when you're trying to live in a righteous way, when you're trying to live in your divine path and your chosen path that the Most High has crafted perfectly for you, when you actually are making the effort to walk in this path, then it's gonna be way different of a feeling than when you're trying to be like this celebrity or that celebrity. There's not gonna be such a hole in you. There's not gonna be such an emptiness in you. There's not gonna be such a lack and a striving to get this next thing and this next thing and this new thing and look cool for this and that. It's not going to be that. You're only going to be trying to look cool for the Most High. You're only going to be trying to do what is right and to better yourself and others around you in the best way that you can. And that is a beauty, that is a gift, to be a blessing and to be blessed as well from being a blessing. You doing the work to be the best version of yourself is only going to bless you in the long run, only going to continue your blessings more and more tenfold, if not. How to become the best version of yourself? The very, very important thing you're going to have to do is learn forgiveness. We have to let go of all these heavy burdens that we put on ourselves that are being held by unforgiveness and by grudges and things like this. We don't need to be worrying about the next man. We don't be worrying about the next woman. We don't need to be worrying about these things. Worry about your life. Worry about your inner self. Worry about keeping your family happy and healed. And then you can maybe worry about other people. But we want to focus on ourselves, on our own families, on our own people that need our help. We don't want to hold grudges and being unforgiving and having to carry all this anger when we truly just realize that, oh, everybody is not awake. 9 times out of 10, people aren't doing things on purpose. They're doing things out of what they know, and they don't know very much. They don't know that what they're doing correlates to this and this and this and that. They don't realize that they're acting out because their whole body is going through a process and their hormones are out of whack, and it's because they just ate McDonald's for the 3 times this week. They don't realize that what they're watching is causing them extra depression, and what they're seeing on their Instagram is causing them anxiety and making them think just because you did this, you must be like this toxic person that they see on TV and TikTok and Instagram. And so the people that they on those apps react a certain way, and so people start reacting a certain way, which is in toxicity. We have to realize to be the best version of ourselves is going to take forgiveness of others, because they don't know what they're doing half the time. They're living in a world of hecticness, of toxicity, where toxicity is really rewarded, unfortunately. So you're going to have to cultivate forgiveness to be the best version of yourself, because in order to be the example, you're going to have to leave grudges. You're going to have to leave wrath. You're going to have to leave all that anger behind. We're not the ones that are supposed to judge. We're supposed to be the ones that help usher people into enlightenment, into their best versions of their self, and to live in a healing life mentally, physically, and spiritually like we are. So if you want to be the best versions of yourself, you can do it today. You don't have to wait for a guru to come. You don't have to wait for some, supreme master to show up at your front door. You don't have to wait till you actually do sit down and meditate for 2 hours a day. But you need to be meditating every day for, however long you can or whatever, 15 minutes even if you can. But we don't have to wait till these things to start doing things in our life that are going to make us the best version of ourselves. We don't have to wait for anybody's say. We can start reading, gaining wisdom. You can even start watching stuff like this. I have tons of videos about helping better yourself, and you can start enacting some of these practices and some of these wisdoms that you gain, and see for yourself what you like and what you don't like. You can gain some, use some practices and then throw some practices away, use some other ones and keep a few of those. Not everybody's path is different. Not everybody needs to be based on one religion or one way of life, or not everything needs to be so black and white. There's tons of people who are sharing tons of wisdom, and you can pick whatever bits you want and see if it works out in your life. See if you start seeing miracles and blessings start manifesting for you. See if you start seeing your goals being achieved, and you start feeling successful and wealthy and abundant truly on the inside, and you start seeing it on the outside. So good luck on being the best version of yourself. I pray for your utmost success, utmost awakening, enlightening, and blessings. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment, share. I appreciate everybody that's been doing that. And I hope you have a blessed weekend. One love.